Welcome to Success from Scratch, your place for innovation, creativity, and the blueprint of success from peak performers just like you. Welcome to Success from Scratch, episode number 46, and my special guest, Jennifer Tharp.
Hi, I'm happy to be here today.
Hey, I'm so glad you're here, and thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for the invite.
So before we get started, let's tell the audience a little bit about the market that you specialize in and where you focus.
Okay. The market that we specialize in is in Tarrant County, specifically Arlington, HEB, and the east part of Fort Worth.
Oh, awesome. So I'd love to hear that you're really hyper-focused on so you're an expert in that market.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's where we live and that's where we work.
Yeah. And a great place, with AT&T Stadium and...
There's so much movement and so much building happening around there. I mean, sky's the limits for the amount of growth and the amount of people moving into the area.
Yeah.
It's so central to the airport, so there's, again, a lot of growth, a lot of real estate being sold.
Yeah. Now, do you focus primarily on residential, or do you have commercial or those things?
You know, I've dabbled in commercial, but yes, residential is 100% our focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you had this amazing history before real estate. Tell us what happened. What was going on in your life before real estate?
Sure. I had about 15 years of high-level management in retail, spanning a long 15 years.
Yeah.
I had about 7 years working with one of the #1 car dealerships in the country as a regional purchasing manager. So we did all of the purchasing for the Southwest region and had a team of people working for me for about 7 years. And then I transitioned back into traditional retail as a store manager for a #1 worldwide retailer, and was with them for about 5 years prior to coming into real estate, and was very successful. Yeah.
But retail has its advantages. It also has its disadvantages. So I'm assuming that kind of drove you to create your own business.
That's true. You know, it's very time consuming. Your work-life balance is almost impossible. In retail. You are there when the customers need you, and that means always. And so when I got married, it became even more of a focus to need to find a better work-life balance and to find time for us and our relationship. And the way to do that was to find a transition out. And I had always had a great amount of interest in real estate for about the last decade leading into me transitioning, and just needed that jump and needed to find that comfort spot to where I could walk away from something that I was very successful at and made very good money at, and could feel comfortable enough being able to walk away from that. And when we got married, we said, now is the time to have that support system and be able to make that transition smoother. And so we decided to do that.
So that's amazing. So part of your reason why is to build and have a strong marriage.
Yes, and that's our 100%.
Yeah.
The whole.
So that's driving you in all of your decisions for your business, which is really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So congratulations on that decision and that choice.
Thank you.
So you transitioned into real estate. Tell us, was that easy? Was that hard? Coming from obviously a very successful background, highly compensated, I'm assuming, and now you're basically wake up unemployed every morning.
Right.
Yeah, so tell us about that transition.
You know, it's a scary feat at first, but we were financially ready. We had made the plans to do so. And to be honest with you, it was a much easier transition than I expected, because at the end of the day, it's still working with clients, building rapport. It's just a different product.
Right.
And so it was an extremely easy transition, because all the same skills that I have been teaching people to use and to build over the last 15 years of my career, I was still doing in real estate. And they actually probably helped me to be more successful, because we are all about process management, managing your time, being self-driven, and then again, knowing how to build rapport, how to close the sale, how to persuade people. So it really transitioned quite well. Yeah.
So let's go back to some of those skills. If you had to identify, the top 2 or 3 skills that are super important as you transition to real estate, what would those be?
Well, you have to be a people person. I mean, if you're not a people person, then it's just not I don't believe it's the business for you.
Right. Unless you're in the back end or processing or something.
Sure. On the front end side, you have to be a people person.
So people person, so high EQ.
Absolutely. Conflict management, I think, is extremely important. Process management, and you have to be self-driven. You have to be able to motivate yourself to work every day because there's no one there doing it for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So fast forward, now you have this successful career, award winner, lots of success.
Yes.
Have you ever wanted to, not do this?
Not do real estate?
Yeah.
No. When I transitioned out of my management position and into real estate, this was it. This was it. There was no, if this works, there is no, well, I could always have this as a fallback. No. This was going to work. I was going to build a great business. And the overall broad plan was to build a business successful enough that my husband can join on to and back away from his career that was sucking a lot of time out of our relationship as well. And that's what we've been able to do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I know some of the tools you have in place. Recently, I think you moved your CRM over to LionDesk.
Yes.
So that's one of your processes.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about the decision, one, to make the move and how you use it to grow your business.
I tried using conversion and what we were given with the brokerage, and for me it just didn't flow well for my needs. I felt like maybe it was clunky in some ways. It was hard I like things that are easy.
Right.
I like things
easy.
Yeah, I like easy. Our jobs are hard enough and we have a lot going on, so the easier the better. Visually appealing was important to me. So I found that after doing research and looking at budget, that LionDesk really fit into it because financially it has a great pricing. It's visually appealing. It's fairly easy to use. And that's something that I need, along with my husband that's not so tech savvy and a teammate of mine now, needs something as easy to use as well. So we transitioned that towards the back end of this last year.
Yeah, it has a very unique texting feature as well. That's pretty cool.
It does, yeah. And we like that.
Yeah. So tell us about lead generation and conversion. What are your main lead generation sources?
So we do a broad stream of a few different things. Open houses will always be a huge lead generation for us. It's the one free thing in real estate, right? When everybody else wants money from you, open houses are free. So we will always do that, and that's how I built my business from the ground up in the first year. We also do pay into Zillow, which has worked out really, really well for us. We do OpCity through JPAR, which works out really well for us as well. And we farm neighborhoods. Good. We have 2 specific neighborhoods and 2 different price points that we farm. And we also focus on for sale by owners and expired listings. So we have about 5 great lead generations that we are focused on every single day.
What I love that is you're diversified and you have 5 sources of business. And I'm assuming each of those sources of business kind of performs better or worse in different market conditions, but you're always working each source, it sounds like.
Right, and that's our plan, is that there's always going to be a lot of ups and downs in real estate. So if you focus all your eggs in one basket, then that might be the basket that fails at the end of the day when the market declines. Right. So if we keep focusing on 5, 6 things at a time to lead generate, we feel like we're always going to be successful and we're always going to be able to pull from those during times of need.
Now, how do you work your past clients, spheres of influence? How does that fit into your mix?
So I will tell you that when I started real estate, I didn't have a huge sphere of influence because I had worked careers for so long. I only had, a handful of people, but I did do everything I could to build that list. And so we do reach out. So we will text, we will message on Facebook. We use Facebook a lot to try and keep in contact with people and keep our feed at the top of their feed through those communications. We do mailers every single month to our sphere of influence. We also do drive-bys. So our past retail stores where we know people. So we'll drop by donuts, we'll drop by and say hi, we're in the area, we just wanted to say hi, and just keep our faces at top of mind.
Right.
Yeah, so that's kind of how we do that.
Yeah. So as we wrap up, any daily routine, any schedule. Tell us a little bit about those things that have helped you be successful.
Sure. So when my husband joined on because I had a need to have another teammate and to build my team. So when
to help him get out of
his
which was causing not having enough time for the relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah. When he went to work, I was asleep. When he came home, I was asleep.
Yeah.
So absolutely. So when he joined on, there was a need for really good communication amongst us and trying to make things seamless. Sometimes we're so busy that it's hard to have the communication one-on-one verbally. So we sat down and decided we needed to have the best communication possible without us having to talk all the time, and without there being a lot of questions. So we purchased, and it seems kind of standard and easy, but we purchased 6 whiteboards, and we have a home office, and they're fairly large whiteboards, and they help to prioritize our day and what's going on in our business. So one has all of the buyers that we're working with and all of their needs. One has the sellers and the listings and all the information about the listing. The other one has every sell that we've ever done throughout the year and where we are, so we know if we're on target. We also have one that's a full calendar, so that the big things that stand out, like closings, open houses, big things that stand out that are team focused, they go on that whiteboard calendar. We have a planner for detailed stuff. And then we have another one we have a lot of quotes and things that keep us inspired, or training tools and things like that we keep on there. But it makes it really easy and seamless, so when he can walk in and say, oh, I just came across this listing and that would fit Jennifer's need, that her buyer is on the board and I see that focus. Or we know what's going on with our listings at all time. We know what buyers are under contract. We know always where we are when it comes to our goals and if we're making it or not making it, so that we're always on the same page. And that's important.
Up and visual, big, where you can see, instant. Love it.
Absolutely, and that's what it is. We're very visual, so we wanted to make it as easy as possible, and it gets it done. Yeah, it's part of the 4 disciplines of execution. I don't know if you've read that book, but yes, so up and visual. Yes.
Well, good. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's a tip that all of us can use, is up and visual on the whiteboards.
Yes.
Any last minute words of advice or things you'd like to share with the audience that would be helpful?
Yeah, I just think in real estate, you've really got to stay focused. You got to stay committed, and you've got to make goals. And you have to really say, what do I want to accomplish? How do I want to do that? And then, like we said, make it visual and always keep falling back on that. The worst thing as a mentor that I hear is when I say, how have you done this year? And they can't really tell me. So you've always got to stay on top of where your business is and always be making changes. If it's not working, make a change. And just really stay committed. Know your numbers, make the adjustments. Yes. But I have to ask a follow-up question, because when you said, maintain focus. Everyone talks about maintaining focus. Mark, I want to be more focused this year. I want to be more focused this month. How do you maintain your focus? Sometimes it is hard. Sometimes you can get a little discouraged, or you can get caught up in the weeds. But the key is that I have a teammate to fall on, so it works good, because there's always an ear to fall on. Definitely if you get a little discouraged, there's always someone to pick you back up. So I think everyone needs to have someone like that, even if it's not your teammate. It may be a mentor, it may be a friend in the business, someone that's going to raise you up, keep you motivated. But another thing that we do is we always have our yearly goals plastered in our office. There's never we actually have it put in numerous spots, so that when you look around the office, it's always there in your face of what your goals are every single day, and you're always being reminded of what you're doing or not doing, so that you realign yourself. Yeah, it helps maintain that focus. It does. Well, that's an awesome tip for the audience. Great. Well, thank you for coming today. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon on another episode of Success from Scratch.